We are live. We are live. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, where I am. This afternoon or this morning, I am graced with the presence of Chikako and Raj, one of my global business partners. They have graced our presence this afternoon to share their journey about their digital business from home. Good morning, guys. You are in Vancouver, Canada. Good morning to you.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for being here. I am so excited. I just posted on my page that this couple is on fire in our digital business. So guys, welcome. Let's get going. So you have the stage. Go ahead and tell us something about yourself. Introduce yourself to our community and to our Facebook audience.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the super warm introduction, Kimlin. So my name is Raj, and this is my amazing wife, Chikako. And I'm a chef by trade, and I've been a digital business owner since June of 2018. And Chikako was the one that started this business back in August of 2017.
Wow.
And so she's the one that created it and had and got it to a point where it was like really humming. And then I said, "Oh my goodness, I'll let you share it because you shared it so eloquently."
He's excited.
Yes.
Yeah, so as he said, hello everyone. Yes, my name is Chikako. I'm originally from Japan and I've been living in Vancouver, Canada for 25 years. And so about 7 years ago, I met this guy and we are about to get married. And that was in 2017 summer. And then that's when it was like just before our wedding, I found this business because I really wanted to create a freedom. You know, my husband's in Japan, his family's in Toronto. We're far away from family, right? So we wanted to have the freedom to, go everywhere we want to go.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's where we're at like 6-7 years ago.
Right. Beautiful. That's nice. So this journey started 2017. So Raj, I heard before you started this digital business, you had a brick and mortar business. Would you like to tell us some more about that?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So here in Vancouver, I created a donut shop, and it's an independent donut shop, and we started with a really small pop-up shop back in 2012, and we grew it, and we had 3 locations and a food truck up until 2019, and so it was booming and sales were good, and being tied to a brick and mortar really became like evident during the pandemic in March of 2020. That's when everything changed significantly.
Wow.
What was a thriving, growing business faced a lot of challenges from that point onward. We closed one of our shops. We sold our food truck, and the landscape of doing business changed forever because of the pandemic.
Yes.
What didn't change? Well, you know what? Let me rephrase that. You know what also shifted was online businesses, because people weren't leaving their homes. People were online more.
Right.
And then the online space really began to thrive at that moment. And it began to grow more and more, and people became more in tune to what is possible by working online.
Right.
And thankfully, like Chikako she's the absolute brains behind the outfit. She's the creator of our business, and she had that foresight back in 2017. Said, you know what, if we could do something from anywhere, what would that be? And that became so evident like during the pandemic. Especially in the beginning, it shifted everything. And I mean, I'm sure at some point in this interview we'll get to share it. Like it literally saved their lives.
Right. Yes. So that's, I mean, a, many would share the same concerns that you are stating right now, that the pandemic changed the trajectory title of a lot of things that happen concerning us, business, career, everything. And you guys were looking for something to be free and not tied down. So that journey started. Chikako, I heard you also had a business yourself. So you would like to share a little short thing also, because you are the head behind everything. So we must be in forefront.
Yes, I also own a business too. It's a completely different style, but I'm a therapist.
Right.
So I had my small, like a clinic downtown, and I was the only one. So I didn't hire anybody. So I was a therapist, and I was an owner, accountant, and marketer, and I did everything. So basically, I had no day offs, and I was just working. And if I stop having clients, no income.
Yes.
So I kept working. And because of that, I didn't have the freedom to go visit my family anytime I wanted. You know, I was feeling really stuck and feeling really scared, like, you know, of like when can I see my family? Yeah, I was feeling really scared and sad.
I understand. So, I understand the same feeling, because being separated from your family, especially living in a foreign country, and if you have no other family members around, just you and your husband, it could be really hard and daunting sometimes, because you miss for that binding, that interaction of your loved ones. So I understand. And also how, being tied to a job, that can really take a toll on a person. And you were doing everything. You were the bookkeeper, the accountant, you were the boss. You're still there. You were everything. And I understand why you decided to look for another stream of income. So let's move on. Tell me, how did you find a stream of income, Chikako?
Sorry, what was the
Are you
question?
hearing, are you hearing me, guys? So
Yep.
now tell me, how did you find this business?
How did I find? Oh my God.
Yeah, how did you come across the business?
Yeah, so I was clear when I met him, like, I want a freedom. I want to go see my
Right.
family. I want to introduce, my country, my family to him, right?
Right.
So that was a big motivation. So I knew it has to be online. So I started researching type online business, right? And then once we know that with algorithm, once you type that word, all the information comes up, right? So that's how I found a lot of online businesses. But I didn't resonate with any of it except one ad. And that was my mentor's ad, which was about this business. So it was easy for me to make a decision because that was the only one that I resonated, right? So yeah, it was like right away I clicked the button and then watched the webinar, and everything resonated. It's really my intuition. Like, I just felt right in my gut. I kind of knew this is it. So, and then watched the webinar. I was so excited. And I watched the webinar in the bedroom by myself. And he was watching the baseball game in the living room. I had to, during the webinar, I had to come out from the bedroom and ran to the living room, stop watching the baseball game. You had to watch this webinar with me. I was just so excited, like, yeah, jumping up and down.
Yeah,
I found it.
great. Where did you find it? Did you come across it on Facebook also?
Facebook, yeah. Facebook.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Raj, you mentioned earlier on that your wife started the business first, right? And that at that time you were still running your donut shop. You also mentioned that, COVID came along and then, it caused, a lot of financial shift because everyone was, moving to the online space, right? You decided eventually to step out of your comfort zone of being a brick and mortar businessman and step into the online world to join your wife, right? Correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
Why did you do that? Did everything just shut down? You were not having any more income, and after that you join in. How was the journey from then?
Well, you know what? Here's the timeline for it. So in 10 months after Chikako started the business in 2017, so in 2018 I started. And then we decided, like, we're going to do this as a couple. We're going to do this in partnership with each other. And Chikako makes all the main decisions, and I support wherever I can. And so when Chikako initially found the business, we watched the webinar, and I said, "Well, you know what? This webinar is brilliant, and the business model is brilliant. I'm super busy with my donut shops right now, but you have my unwavering support with whatever you need in order to have this work." Right. And so that's how it happened. And so Chikako, she put everything together, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything started taking off. And I said, wow, at that point, I have to make time, in order to be a part of this, because to get on the ground floor and have it grow and be able to double our income with this, that's where it was at for us, because we definitely wanted a plan B. An opportunity to save extra money and really realize the future that we wanted. And then it really wasn't until March 2020 that all of it became evident. That, because I felt like there was always room for both. And what I really got present to during the pandemic is, all of the costs that are immediately associated with having a brick and mortar. Of course, you have your location. If you own the building, you're paying your rent, or you're paying mortgage. Otherwise, you're leasing or you're renting your locations. I had employees, and that accounts for a huge chunk of your profits. Of course, there's food costs. There's so many costs to take into consideration. And if the sales aren't there, either the business is growing or shrinking. And so my business was growing up until the pandemic, and then it shrunk really fast. Whereas with this online business, since it was started by Chikako back in 2017, it's done nothing but get bigger every year. And even though the pandemic has officially been declared over, and the world health crisis has been officially declared over, the landscape of the world is still shifting. And so, is there a space for a brick and mortar? Absolutely. Is that something that I would want to invest my time in the future? Knowing what I know now, the absolutely not. There's many opportunities to be creative, and
right, yes,
having there's so many things that we've gotten from this online business outside of an income, and I'm sure we'll get into that in a bit as well.
Right.
Knowing that we can generate money, and there is no ceiling. As big as you can dream is as much as you can make. Really. That's what's possible inside of this, and that's what we've been discovering.
Right.
Ever since Chikako found this in 2017.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, like as a quick example, in 2018, 3 months after me starting the business and us like doubling our income,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to go to Japan for 3 months.
Wow.
Now, being a traditional brick and mortar business owner,
Yes.
I've never had more than 5 days off.
You're
Literally,
tied to the
and
business.
that was in the course of 7 years.
Hmm.
So in 7 years, I didn't have more than 5 days off in a row. And then I went from being able to take 5 days off to taking 3 months off
Wow, that's awesome.
and not have to worry about income.
Hmm.
That's what's possible.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I didn't even dream it possible until that happened.
Hmm. Thanks to your business now.
Yes.
Thanks to this business and your beautiful wife, I
Yeah.
must say. So you are saying be the you are saying there are people who can still run that brick and mortar business, but if you have that choice, you would do this business that you're doing all over again. You would start it all over again. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
And I am saying it is awesome. There's no business owner that can take time off. Your wife was wanted time. She was yearning to get time off, to leave, to see her family. The regular person that works a 9 to 5 job can't even get time off to stay home with their own kids, to take them to the doctor or spend time with them. So much less you as the business owner, the one that runs the business. And if you as the business owner could make this decision and weigh the money that you can make from an online business compared to your brick and mortar business, what else could we say, right? This business works. It works. You were down and out at one point. You said you were in what you said that you were in Japan for 3 months. Your business was still running, guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
You were still making money.
Oh yes.
You were.
Yes, we
Oh,
were.
oh my gosh. And you did not have to you didn't have to like run back to Vancouver to check in. You was
Not at
doing the
all.
business from Japan?
Yeah, because we have this, right?
Oh my gosh. And it was still running. Did you
Yeah,
have to sit in front of your phone or your computer all day to run the business?
not at all.
Oh wow. I even heard that you, Raj, you were sick at one time. You had a medical issue while you when you were sick and in the hospital. Were the business shut down when that medical issue had happened?
No, most assuredly not yet. I had my hip replaced.
Ah,
And you know, I'm a bit young to get my hip replaced, and that is also one of the things that I can say, you know, I can take care of my health
hmm,
because of this business. I have the opportunity to stay home and heal and get healthy
that's
and
awesome.
and not have to worry about finances.
Yes.
In fact, I don't know. Are we allowed to share numbers?
Mhm.
But we wouldn't today.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? Well, you know, we made more than enough
Yes, even to
during
cover your
during,
doctor bills
during
too.
that time that that I was laid up in bed healing,
Mm,
having my hip replaced.
wow.
We had our biggest month.
Wow. That is, I mean, there are people, I would like to say that, there are people might that thinks even though there are people that are so skeptical, and it's normal, right, Raj and Chicago?
Mhm.
It is okay to be skeptical. What would you like to say to what advice would you like to give someone who's listening to our live or who may watch our replay in the future that might come across the same ad you came across, that might be in a brick and mortar business like Raj and yourself was running, you know Raj said, something, he was young. Sometimes, a lot of us go through stress that we don't want to admit, because we have to go to work. We have to grind the 9 to 5 jobs, because we have to pay our bills. We have our mortgages, we have our rents, we have our children, we have our car notes, we have daily life, that we have no other choice but to go to a regular 9 to 5 jobs, which you guys also had. You had more than a 9 to 5 job. You had a 12-hour day sometimes. I'm sure you did, because you were the business owners. And what type of advice would you leave with someone who might be a business owner? You can speak to them. You can speak to someone who has a 9 to 5 job and they are stressed out. You can cover all that because you have been there.
So one thing I want to say about skepticism, I was skeptical too. And inside of the skepticism, there is curiosity. There's interest, because if you're not interested, you're probably like, next.
Yes.
You don't even have to be skeptical, right? So I tell those people, like, who are skeptical, like, do your research until, like, you get clear about what you want to know. So if you're skeptical, like, notice you're curious, actually. You want to know more about this business. So that's one thing I want to share. So really listen to your heart, listen to your gut, and look at the future that you want to create. And then if this business is a match with that, like with what you want to create or not, right?
Right.
So really find out by watching the webinar, and
Right.
because we share that, right?
Right. So, Raj, is there anything you would like to share with our audience or Facebook guests before we wrap up? Is there anything you would like to leave? Any type of advice? Sometimes we think that we can't do something, especially for me. Sometimes, you hear from people think that the online world, hearing what they're saying, it comes off as the online world is scary. That you can't really make money online unless you're Amazon or eBay or those big companies. Do you understand what I'm saying? And people have this fear. That's how I believe that you really can't make money online. You really can't do a business online. And we are here to tell them and show them that you are doing it from home, anywhere, from Japan. And right now you're in Vancouver and you guys are about to travel to Japan again. So you are doing it and your business is constantly working, because I'm sure you would not have given up your business to work online if you were not making money, correct?
That's right.
100%.
That would have been a kind of crazy. We might think that you were mentally not stable to just close your shop and just sit down home and not make money, but I'm sure you are killing it. And I know for a fact that you are killing it. So is there anything would you like to leave with our audience before we go?
Here's a story that I like to share in regards to, like, can I do it? So up until 2018, I didn't know how to swim. I did not know how to swim, and I was definitely afraid of the water. I nearly drowned 3 times in my life. And so anytime I'd get close to the deep end, I'd say, no thanks, I'm okay. I don't have to swim in the deep end of the water in order to enjoy water. I can just hang out the shallow end and everything will be okay. So Chikako and I, we're in Mexico. We're staying at a beautiful resort in Puerto Morelos, and it's Sunday afternoon and we're in the pool, and Chikako looks at me. She said, "Would you like to learn how to swim?" And I said, "Yes, yes, I would." And so she said, "Okay, just put your head in the water and float."
Hmm.
And the fear was so intense for me. Like I've got tears streaming down my cheeks because I'm so afraid of putting my head under the water because I'm afraid of what might happen. I'm afraid I might drown, even though the pool is only 4 feet high.
Hmm.
I stand up and the pool's like hair on me, and none of that is real. It's all made up, and it's all based on solely past experiences.
Hmm.
And so Chicago very gently said, "You know what? Just go on your back and let go."
Hmm.
So I did, and it was in that exact moment that I realized that I can float, and if I can float, I can swim. I was like, "Holy crap, I can float!"
Wow, that's beautiful.
So 8 hours later, at the resort that we're staying at, there's a small like little man-made like diving section. It's about 3 meters or 10 feet tall, and then there's a deep pool that you jump into. So 8 hours later, I'm jumping into this pool, and I jumped every day for the rest of the time that we were there. Now, the reason why I share that story isn't to show like I can swim. It's to really demonstrate what is possible if we get rid of anything that is in our way that prevents us from moving forward.
Yes.
And sure, was my life great without swimming? Absolutely.
Hmm.
And is my life better because of swimming? 100.
Yes.
If I had to swim, I swim now because I love it so much. It's freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as advice for everybody watching, this is the opportunity to jump.
Hmm.
It's time for everyone to celebrate a victory.
Yes. Yes. That is so awesome. I just love what you just said. I love what you just said. You wouldn't know what you're missing unless you put your feet out and jump in. You wouldn't know what you're missing. You see everyone else jumping in, and you say to yourself, "Oh, they're having so much of fun, but I am gonna drown if I put my feet in." And that's fear. Fear of the unknown. That's basically it. Because once a person does not know what is something is about, they're either fearful, they're judgmental, or they already make their what's the word I'm losing, they already make their judgment of the thing because they don't know. So our advice to everyone, and I love what you just said, Raj, if you don't come on, join our webinar, you would not know what the business is about unless you take that step to join the 90-minute webinar. You would not understand what our business model is, what we are offering to you, and how you can become financially stable, just like this lovely couple is today. So, this afternoon, this morning, again, we would just love to say thank you very much for our wonderful duo, Raj and Chikako, who is joining us live from Vancouver, BC this morning. I thank you very much for your time. And again, everyone who is listening to us live and those who will be listening to our replay, join our 90-minute webinar. That is the first step to learn more about our business. Even though you may ask us what is and how could I learn more, that is the next step to learn more. Join our 90-minute webinar Tuesdays and Thursdays, every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. And whatever zone you are in, you can look it up compared to our Eastern Time or Pacific Time, and you can find a time that is concerning your location. And we look to see you on the inside. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. And I'm so sorry, I would love to shout out Shruti, our my coach. She is viewing from New Jersey, and she said we are great. And I would just love to say thank you very much, Shruti, for joining us. And thank you, everyone, for joining our live interview today. See you again. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.